Hello students, in this video we are going to critically analyze and explain Matthew Arnold's Dover Beach. Before begin to his poetry, let we have little bit introduce to Matthew Arnold's life. Matthew Arnold was born at Laleham near Staines on 24th of December 1822. His father, Thomas Arnold, was a famous headmaster of Rugby School. He was himself educated at Rugby. In year 1840, he won the school prize in English verse. In year 1843, he won the new Digate Prize for writing as a poem Cromwell, a Balliol College, Oxford. In year 1845, he was elected Fellow Oriel College. He worked as master at Rugby for some years. In year 1851, he was made inspector of schools. That year, he married the daughter of Justice Whitman. From 1857 to 1867, he was professor of poetry at Oxford School. He died at Liverpool on 19th May 1888. Now, his works were his first volume of poems, The Strayed Reveller, and the other poems appeared in 1849. In 1852 was published. In year 1853 appeared a volume of poems, and in 1855 poems second series were published. In 1858 Miro, a tragedy, was published, and new poem in 1866. He also wrote much on criticism. As a poet, we find clarity of expression, gravity, and dignity of thoughts in his poem and in his poetry. He has classical sense of promotion and harmony. He cannot tolerate exaggerations of sentiments or passes on or emphasis either in description or in epithets and obituaries. He writes with a purpose and a definite aim in his mind, and his writings are free from the clouds of passions and imagination that hang upon and obscure the expressions in Keats and other romantic poets. As a poet of nature, Arnold bears some resemblance to Wordsworth. He also possesses penetrating and sympathetic insight in nature and belief in its healing power, as Wordsworth does, but is not a nature worshipper like Wordsworth. Neither does he find perpetual joy in it, nor does he recognize any mystic union with it by takes only a detached view of it. Comparing Arnold with Tennyson, Lord B. says that the latter occasionally goes wrong, but Arnold is always accurate. So, this was the introduction to the poet. Now, we start with introduction to the poem Dover Page. The poem was published in year 1867. The poet has expressed pessimism in this poem. The world is full of miseries. Even the Greek poet Sophocles sang it. But in olden times, man had faith and love for each other, but that they have now lost. Instead, fight with each other. The poet is reminded of it by ebbing of the sea at Dover Beach. The poem, in his first stanza, the poet sees the calm sea in full tide at the Dover beach. In next and second stanza, the roar of the ebbing sea strikes a note of sadness in his mind. In third stanza, he says that Sophocles was reminded of human miseries as he heard the roar of the sea waves at the Greek coast. In the fourth stanza, the poet talks that once the sea of faith grilled this earth, but it is now retreating. In the last stanza, he asks us to love each other as this world is really a joyless palace. This was a briefly description of Arnold's Dover Beach. Now we little bit elaborate the idea of Matthew Arnold expresses in his poetry Dover Beach. The idea is expressed in the form of a beautiful metaphor. Humanity is presented as the seashore, faith as the sea. In the past age, the heart of man was full of faith like the beach covered with the sea water at the time of flow of the tide. Today, the human heart is dry like a beach at the ebb tide. Only dry and soulless religious formulas, ceremonies, and practices remains in it, prevails on the sea beaches. When we analyze the word epithet used in the poem, we find that Arnold does not use color epithet anywhere in this poem. Even in the first stanza, where he describes the landscape, not color epithet is used. But this deficiency does not in any way mar the literary merit of the poem. Arnold describes the landscape in a way that the reader is easily able to visualize the landscape and its weird color on the French coast. The lights, the greens, and is gone. We can we can very easily visualize the color here. When he speaks of the moon blanched sands, he makes us to see the sandy plains shining white in the moon light without using the color epithet. To conclude, Arnold compares the world of dark flame and the man living in it, with the soldiers fighting there. Just as in the dark field at the night, soldiers, knowing not their friends or foes, attack and kill their own man. So, man, carried away by the suspecticism and doubtful, fall full of their brethren and devastate the humanity. Thus, in the poem, the ignorant armies are the false religious and spiritual beliefs of their people. There is a complete spiritual darkness, and no one knows what is true and what is false. Man quarrels over these false beliefs in the world. None knows who is right and who is wrong. All are being deceived by the false appearance. He says that only true love can be helpful in this condition. The poem Dover Beach was published in year 1867. In this poem, the poet expressed pessimism in this poem. The world is full of misery, even the Greek poet Sophocles sang it. But in the olden times, man had faith and love for each other, but that they have no lost, and instead they fight with each other. The poet is reminded of it by the ebbing of the sea at the Dover beach. According to Arnold, the only cure of the world's illness is the love. To be true to each other, and this he wants us to learn. Ah, love, let us be true to one another. Man can rekindle lights in this dark world through the love.